Well, when Dominic was a toddler baby, we started wondering about his physical development and mental development when he was probably about a year and a half old.
The walking that he started out slow on, and that's about when we really started to notice that there was something kind of wrong.
He hadn't started talking by the time he was 3. And he had actually no more than like maybe just sounds compared to words. And then it was from there that we found out that he had a lead poison. The old place we were living at, the National Lead Society out of Olympia came down and did a big old test of everything and come to conclusion that the house we were living at, the dirt, the paint that was coming off the walls on the inside of the house, and even the water was chocked full of lead. Then the doctor was saying besides lead poisoning, it could be autism.
When he was first diagnosed as autistic, what were some of the treatment options they told you about?
Nothing.
He didn't give us any information, any reputable, knowledge of any sort. I don't think the doctor himself knew that much about autistic children. I don't think he had the knowledge to give. As soon as my son became self-abusive and we had to take him in for it because it got so bad, because he started getting a bump on his forehead, he was the one, who wanted to put my kid on antipsychotic medications because he's scared. My son doesn't just headbutt when he's scared.
He's just doing it in general for every emotion, for any reason. And I said, there's something else going on. And when he told me that the only options that he gave us were these 2 antipsychotics, I flat out said no.
Out of the 2 medications, one was not even recommended for children at all, not even approved by the FDA for children. The other one was not approved for children under age 13. And these are the 2 drugs that were recommended to them to put into their nonverbal autistic 4-year-old. Well, how is a nonverbal autistic 4-year-old going to tell anybody once you put this stuff into his body what he's feeling? He could die before he's able to tell you that he's having an allergic reaction to this drug.
Every year, about 15,000 people die of effects of the anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen, and about 13,000 people die of unintended overdosages from narcotics.
At first, I thought my life was over, I'm gonna have to sit here and take care of my son the rest of my life and his life. A lot of autistic kids have health problems associated with their autism. And that right there was an instant fear in my eyes and in my heart too, thinking, there's a chance I might outlive my son. And that breaks my heart.
Dominic was brought in by his dad, and we saw him on a couple different occasions. The first occasion was very interesting because he was so hyperactive and uncontrollable that he was in and out of the waiting room and the consultation room here, and just really upsetting the whole clinic.
I met them because his father is a patient, and so he joined a community garden, and that's how we first met them. And when he started talking to me about his son and autism, I was already aware that there were some parents who had tried cannabis for autism. Somebody had given them a topical cream, and they tried that on him, and they noticed that he relaxed. And so that's when his dad brought it up to me, and we started talking about it, and then we started gathering as much information as possible. And I told him that we could donate whatever he needed. We started giving them a topical spray, topical cream, and then we made cannabis butter, and then we had the butter tested so that we could see the strength of it and try to develop a dose for Dominic that would be, like a pediatric dose.
One of the benefits of the lotions and creams depends on the fact that we know that marijuana is absorbed fairly completely through the skin, but the absorption is gradual, and so rather than getting a sudden dose of the cannabis itself, The dosage is smoothed out and he gets the effect over a period of hours rather than minutes. There are no reported deaths from the use of marijuana. So it's much safer. Its effect can complement certain drugs and can many times be used instead of them.
It does everything from relieve pain, takes away nausea, helps you to eat, especially for cancer patients who are going through chemo, people who have MS, Parkinson's, any kind of spasticity disorder. It can calm that, epilepsy. It can completely remove seizures.
Before, he never used to play with his brothers, but now he follows his brothers everywhere, wants to be involved with what they're doing. And before that, he showed no emotional context whatsoever of wanting anything to do with any of his family members, including me and my wife.
One of his family members, his grandfather, came into holistic health a couple of months after Dominic had been on the cannabis, and he broke down in tears. And he just said, thank you so much for helping my grandson. He said, I have not been able to hug my grandson in over 2 years, and now I can.
Nowadays, he comes home from the bus, he comes and gives me a big old hug. And that just melts my heart every day when he does that.
This school year, I've seen a lot of change in him, and a lot of good change and things like that, where he is learning more and he is starting to try to talk and focusing, I think, a little bit more at school on those.
He just got his first award for sitting for a certain length of time in his desk. The teachers noticed right away that he went from only a single task that he couldn't focus on for more than, I think, just a minute or two, to multitask for up to 10 minutes.
My life went from being like a broken piano to being harmonic music. Because my son is learning by leaps and bounds, his ability to mimic, his ability just to be part of our life. It's here now. I'm blown away. I am blown out of the water with his improvement over the last year. And I don't think it would have been done without medical cannabis. There you go. You say hi? Say what's up?